center field. Back toward the track. And that ball is gone.
You are listening to the North Shore 9 podcast. Follow them on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Also, make sure to watch NS9 Live every Thursday on Twitch and help support by becoming a patron. Let's go Bucks!
Yo, welcome to NS9 Live. I am your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me tonight, we have Tyler, a.k.a. Wagner the Kutch, a.k.a. Wagner the Hopeless, a.k.a. I'm probably on my 10th beer. How it do, baby?
Know what, DiNardo? Just a couple headband guys doing headband guy things.
I don't know, man. I woke up feeling dangerous today. Dangerous.
I don't know. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it, Nardog. Oh, man, we're looking good. Ooh, I pulled that off.
Might even throw a couple touchdowns tonight. I don't know. I might.
Ooh, man, I did wake up feeling dangerous. Like I said earlier, it pulls it off with guys with bad hairlines like myself.
I can't quite relate, but I don't know.
If I can figure out how to work it.
I think it also pulls off for guys who don't get haircuts as often as they should. So there's also that.
Yeah, well, in Ohio, we do what we want, man.
Well, in Florida, we kind of do what we want also.
Damn, but you got shut down. And it's a tough life for you, man.
Yeah, you know. I'll tell you, that's always kind of been my trick. Although I pretty much wear the hat all the time now, exclusively. But
oh yeah,
I'd always joke with people who actually know. I'm like, when I'm on stream and you see the hat, it's typically because I haven't gotten a haircut in a while. When I get it cut, no hat. Definitely got to you got to flaunt it, show it off a little bit. But you go 3, 4, 5 weeks sometimes. Yeah, it's all hats and headbands now,
bro. I roll that 4-week haircut, but I'm also balding, so it is what it is.
So
as soon as I get this headband, there we go. Oh, we look good.
Oh, that's hot. That's sexy, man.
I know. I woke up feeling dangerous.
Imagine being the smartest Pirates fan in the world and looking that good.
You know what? You better hope GQ don't hire me away from you.
I just know October 8th, we're starting NS9 Jeopardy once again. But I don't know. Maybe we should actually be going into the dating game. I mean, ladies. Look at that. Oh man, now you just flashed the Keystone light. You're done. You're done. Unless they're like
a dab on my friends.
Years old. You're done.
That's just rude.
So how's it going, Tyler?
You know what, DiNardo? I think we watched as many Pirates games this week as I think we each watched the same amount of Pirates games this week.
Tonight?
One? Yeah.
Do I have to make a confession as well live on air right now?
Yeah, you do.
All right. Yeah, I will admit I tonight was the first game I watched all week. And just, work's been hell, stuff outside of life, I've been very, very busy, very, very tired. Even Monday night, I had both games on, the Pirates and Steelers game. I didn't even make it through. I fell asleep the second game. But I had the Steelers game on. So I was like passively watching it. I'll be honest, those tweets, if you want to go back on Monday night, the only reason I tweeted those was because MLB at bat alerted me that whatever it was happened. And I was like, oh, okay. Josh Bell, he's back.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I kind of forgot the Pirates existed for a few days.
The Pirates forgot
look, it is the first week of football. And I feel like we all been just gearing up for it. So It is what it is. If the Pirates are in a different boat, maybe it's a different story, but they're not. They're in that boat that's sinking.
And I mean, I think it's fair to say too. I mean, it's the first week. The NFL week 1 is just an anomaly. I mean, that's partly why, of course, last week we kind of scrambled and said, all right, we got to do the show at 7 because there's no way we're competing with, what was it? The Texans and Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to get a view. So, I mean, week 1 of NFL is just an anomaly. Everyone's hyped for it. NFL is king. I mean, regardless that we're a baseball podcast, NFL is king. We understand that. It's week 1. Yeah, I was watching. I'll be honest. I had the NFL on the TV. The Pirates were on the laptop each time.
You know what, man? I remember back when, I think probably 2013 through 2015, I remember talking to people and be like, I'm going to have 2 TVs set up and I'm going to pay more attention to the Pirates. But right now, why would I do that?
I mean, it's fair. You don't have to be a Debbie Downer to say that. The entertainment value just simply isn't with the Pirates right now. Regardless
if
of how
I miss
much
the
of a fan
Pirates
you
tonight, I'll watch them tomorrow.
Twice tomorrow, actually.
I miss Steelers. I got 15 games left.
True.
And same thing with Penguins hockey. I mean, if it's the playoffs, I'm going to tune into that over the Pirates. It is what it is. You can say what you want. It's all fair. When the Pirates are this bad, which I'm not complaining about, they probably need to be this bad. I'm just not going to be as motivated to tune in as I might have been before.
Yeah, I can totally get that from people. It's bad enough for all of our mental health that, what we're all going through. So to be stuck at home and have to watch the Pirates can certainly, damper that even further. So again,
Right.
I get it. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, I always watch the Pirates games. This week though, I want to say, I mean, I don't think I've missed a game yet this season up until this week. And it was literally every game up until tonight. So,
man, I'm telling you, that 13 through 15 run spoiled me because I know growing up, I did not miss many games. Since then, when they're bad, I have a heck of a time tuning in. And I will tune in, but it's more of a passive watching sometimes.
I mean, how much?
Especially, we're talking August, September, when it's clear they're out of it, and it's like,
August, September was also the beginning of the season. I mean,
right, but
we're still like 40 games in.
Right, right, but I'm talking previous years,
Gotcha.
Like the Craig Wilson years.
Okay, well, I was going to say.
Still tuning in, wanting to watch every pitch. Well, not watch every pitch, but at least watching almost all the games all the time. But that was a ride to let's see if they can win 81 games. We got past that. Now it's all right. If they win 81 games, oh, well, whatever.
Well, what thing I was going to say is a valid question because you mentioned 13 and 15, right? And obviously, if you're a Pirates fan, you're certainly watching that. I'm not going to go before 13 because I would say even in 12, they're competitive, 11. So what about the years of 09 to 10? If you're talking a 3-year stretch.
Oh yeah, I was tuned in, man.
Okay. Just interested. I think that people wanted to know.
Granted, that's a different animal compared to this year where we're talking about 10. I think you have, McCutcheon made his debut in 09, I think. Is that right?
Yeah.
9, 10, 11, yeah. Neil Walker made his debut. Pedro made his debut in 10. So we're talking about a team that it felt like they were building something right now. Am I going to tune in to watch Eric Gonzalez and Jacob Stallings and Steven Brault throw a magnificent, 8 innings a night?
9. The full 9.
Did he go the whole 9? I had to shut it off to jump on here, but
yeah, I put the TV on here real quick as I was setting up. But yeah, he did go the full 9.
Yeah, I was. But yeah, I mean, am I going to tune in to watch Steven Brault, who won't be a part of anything worthwhile in the future? It's tough.
Steven Brault, possibly the best pitcher on the Pirates staff.
He had a 5.5 ERA coming into today.
Wow. But no, so getting back to what you're saying, actually make a very valid point because that's my next question is, what's the difference between 8 through 10 and right now? And you're right. At least then you were watching the future. The future was here. And that's very much the difference because right now it's as we joked to a degree, this offseason with Ryan and I, you can't call this a rebuild because literally they haven't rebuilt anything. It's the same stuff. It's the same team. And it's kind of in limbo. So to a degree, you're not watching the future at all. That's why I guess we're excited about Brian Hayes because we know he is the future. But it's like on this team, who is the future? We have no idea. Like even the likes of Brian Reynolds and Kevin Newman, you don't even really know if they're going to be part of the future or not, because like this new regime hasn't made that stamp. You know, we don't see the new people coming. So you had the excitement of Kutch, like you mentioned, Neil Walker and such. So you wanted to watch them because you knew they were up next. That's the team coming. And right now it's just a bad team, bad players, and none that really intrigue you because they're probably not going to be on the team when they're ready to play. So, you know,
right. And even back then even before that, it was, all right, maybe I might see my first winning season of my lifetime.
Right.
Seen it. It wasn't that great. They got past the wild card game, and now I'm just more annoyed than I was before. Like, what do you want from me here? I'm trying to watch them, but I can't watch a bunch of guys that won't be part of the future just not be good at baseball. Like, I can grab my MLB app like last night. What they have 3 hits. I can watch all 3 of those hits and not waste 3 hours of my life.
That's true. We need like the MLB's version of the NFL's red zone, right?
Yeah, well, why do I want to tune into a team that has 3 hits in a night?
Well,
to watch Brian Hayes have 4 at bats.
Tonight was a little bit different.
Just remind me whenever he's up. Because aside from that, I might want to watch Josh Bell. I might want to watch Colin Moran just because I like Colin Moran. I don't want to watch these pitchers throw baseballs. I don't want to watch Eric Gonzalez get at bats. I don't want to watch Jacob Stallings get at bats. I don't want to watch JT Riddle get at bats.
Well, that's for sure.
I really don't want to watch Kevin Newman or Cole Tucker get at bats. So what do you, to just a casual, I'm not a casual Pirates fan, but in the grand scheme of things, when we're talking about a casual Pirates fan, what do they want to tune in for?
Yeah. I mean, I feel you to a degree there. What I think it is like, I do personally, like, I want to watch Kevin Newman. I want to watch Cole Tucker. Like, I want to watch these guys. But what makes it hard is the Pirates have been like bordering historically bad as far as offense and as a team, you know? So like you want to, but a lot of these players make it really, really hard to watch them. And I think that's the thing. So even like if you did want to watch them, it's kind of tough. It's a tough pill to swallow, you know? And I think that's like when the Pirates do have a good game like tonight, you know, it's like the overcorrection, you know? How excited are we right now that a pitcher went over, but how excited are we that a pitcher went into the 7th inning? Let's not even talk about the complete game. How excited are we that a starting pitcher went into the 7th inning? You know what I mean? That shouldn't be this way right now. Like we should be, that's just the norm. But we actually were like, you were seeing stats and people talk about, hey, Steven Brault's in the 7th, and this is only the 5th time this happened this year. Jeez, like, come on.
If they're competitive, it's a different story. I mean, what bullpen are we saving here? And the thing, there are guys that could be contributors in the future. I mean, you look at a guy like Brubaker. He's not a starter. I think the guy has shown a lot that he's going to be a very valuable reliever going forward.
I fully agree.
You've seen positive signs out of Chris Stratton. You see the positive signs out of Rich Rod.
Our boy Frankie Howard, right?
Yeah, Frank Howard.
Frank Howard.
Favorite player ever. There's glimpses of hope there, but I'm not watching them to watch guys that might be future relievers.
Well, honestly, they're not future relievers. These are our future trade chips because we know relievers are volatile and trade them as soon as they're good, especially right now in a rebuild. Like there's no reason to have a good bullpen in a rebuild and like this. So I would suspect all those guys on the trade block this offseason. But you're right. But let's get into this game a little bit. So, you know, again, tonight was a win, their first win in over a week. They're kind of going off the rails because we need them to lose, Tyler, right? We got to get that number 1 draft pick.
Which God knows if that'll happen.
and Jim and I had our show yesterday, and we discussed, realistically, how many wins could they finish off the rest of the year? And I think both of us kind of were at like that 3 mark. Well, they already got the 1 tonight, so I don't know. But yeah, so tonight they do go and win 5-1. The offense was there, 9 hits. They had 5 walks. Like Gregory Polanco didn't strike out. He once again looked good for 1 game. He actually hit the ball twice. I want to just mention this. Gregory Polanco hit the ball twice away. Technically, the north side notch, right? So a little bit away from center field, right? A little bit on the opposite side, and then left field. So that was kind of nice. There's twice he didn't pull the ball right to the second baseman, but he does get a double, does get a home run. Even Josh Bell, like he's been heating up and looking good. He didn't get a hit, but he got a sacrifice fly, drove in a run. Like the bats were there. Then, of course, as we mentioned, Steven Brault, the 9-inning complete game, giving up just 1 run, 2 hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts.
It's good to see Polanco cut his strikeout rate under 44%. It's another piece that's not going to be there in the future. And,
yeah.
I mean, you got Polanco, he homered, drove in most of the runs, basically.
Yep. Had a 3-run shot there.
I mean, Steven Brault throws a complete game. Fastball's up at 94. Changeup looks good. Not going to be there in the future. It's hard to get excited about. Even though I'm thrilled when they beat the Cardinals. Thrilled.
But you can't be, though. They had to lose.
I know. But sweeping the Cardinals is never a bad thing. Like, if they could pull off a sweep of the Cardinals, are you mad?
Oh, no, I mean, really, yeah, I see where you're coming from. Like, anytime you sweep
because
the
at
Cardinals,
the end of the day,
and the thing is, that's not even as a Pirates fan. Like, as a baseball fan, I feel like the Cardinals are very similar in the sense of like the Patriots. Not to that degree, but it's like every team like to just hate
it's
on them.
To that degree.
You think it's even that deep?
Yes, because they just get a bunch of white guys that are unathletic that hit the crap out of a baseball.
Right. Okay. I mean, it's fair. I think
a bunch
it's
of
close,
guys no one else wants, and they end up good.
They're definitely that team that everyone hates, just kind of for similar reasons. But yeah,
it's not like the Yankees that are just the Yankees are like football. Gosh, I mean, I don't want to say with the Washington football team. No, because the Yankees pay a bunch of people. I can't think of another team that pays a bunch of people and is good. Because in the NFL, it doesn't happen. Oh, yeah, because they have a salary cap. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, Snyder, of course, the Washington football team you mentioned. That's a good point. I was going to say, although they have been building through the draft lately, I would say much like the Dolphins for some reason just can't draft. They've never been drafting. Like they're always giving people ridiculous contracts and then they're turning bad.
Maybe,
but they're not good. The Cowboys to a degree.
Yeah, probably like the Cowboys. Yeah, literally the Cowboys. They don't win.
The Rams.
I'd say more the Cowboys because they're America's team, but don't win anything.
There you go.
Like the Yankees haven't been relevant in 20 years. Relevant to a degree.
They've been relevant. They just haven't won the championship.
Yeah, so the Cowboys.
Right. That's fair.
Yeah, that's a good call.
I forget how we got here, but we're here.
I don't know either.
So, beating sweeping the Cardinals.
Oh yeah, Cardinals.
Always a good time.
That's the whole thing. Yeah, it's a good time until you don't get Kumar Rocker out of it.
I think the issue, I mean, the draft is so far away. There hasn't been baseball, so there's not a whole lot you can really go off of. But we kind of alluded to this, because of the draft talk we had. I don't think it's so much of a clear cut. I think there's a couple guys that can go at number 1. So it's like if we missed out on number 1, but say the Pirates are like number 2, I don't think it'd be the worst thing in the world. It's not as if like, oh my God, you missed out on like Steve Strasburg or Bryce Harper, something like that.
There's also that whole thing where it's nobody knows who the heck's going to draft number one, even if they have the worst record.
But that's what I'm getting at, but it's going to be different, I think, from going like either number one or number two to being like 5 or 7 again. So like, I'm okay if the Pirates don't get the number one spot, but they have to get like top 3, Or what was the point of the season? Like, I can't believe they're this bad and still don't get a top 3 draft pick.
And at the end of the day, if they're going to be a bad team, this is the best year to do it because I only had to watch 3 months of terrible baseball.
Right.
And also on the other side of it, if I had to watch 3 terrible months of baseball, can we at least do it with the guys that aren't playing minor league baseball?
Right.
Give me all the guys that are not playing and just throwing simulated games and taking batting practice. At least give them some reps because you're not getting better seeing the same pitchers every single day.
Well, news. Nick Gonzalez looks good in Altoona, apparently.
Whoa.
And
I love Nick Gonzalez, but I mean, he's not. I want to see him actually play. Now, I'm not saying call him up, but just in the grand scheme of things, we're talking about a bunch of guys like him. He's in a different boat, but those guys that were AAA knocking on the door that were maybe quad A players, maybe guys like a Cabrian Hayes to the point where he got called up, well, just call him up and let him play.
Yeah.
They're not getting better. What are you blocking them with? Why do I have to watch Eric Gonzalez play baseball? Why do I have to watch JT Riddle play baseball?
That's it. So as a fan, of course, you're saying we'll have to watch, Eric Gonzalez. Now, as an organization, you're going to have to because I want to play him because, for one, I want to see if this is legit. For 2, if it is legit,
he's terrible.
I want to showcase him to, the rest of MLB and be like, hey, this is a guy that you can trade for. But the JT Riddle, like, that's it. Like, I'm tired of JT Riddle. There is absolutely no reason that JT Riddle's out there. Why was JT Riddle playing third base Sunday and not Cabrian Hayes? And even if it wasn't Cabrian Hayes, why couldn't it be Colin Moran and, Bell at first? There's no reason JT Riddle is having at-bats for the Pittsburgh Pirates this year. Period.
None.
You can tank without him. So for the tank Commanders, you don't even need JT Riddle to tank. You can do it without him. I shouldn't have to watch him play. And there's no reason for him to take any at-bats from anybody else, especially Cabrian Hayes.
I mean, for God's sake, just call up Travis Swaggerty and let him play. I don't care. Give me
Oliva. Give me Oliva.
Give me
Oliva.
Let Will Craig play. Crap, let Mason Martin play. I don't care. Let any of these guys that everyone that's in the scouting departments or Rights for Baseball America says they might be good, they might not.
Find out.
Let's find out. Find out.
Because you know what? We know JT Riddle is not good. Yeah. Check.
We figured that out a long time ago.
I mean, hell, the Marlins, who were a terrible team, figured that out, which is why they DFA'd him.
And I know Blake Cederland had health issues. I mean, come on. Give me these types of dudes that maybe they might just flame out real quick. I don't care.
You're finding out now.
That's what this year's for.
I'm absolutely with you. Now, Cederland did make his debut, finally. Thank God. It's nice.
Right. But I'm saying...
He cut his hair. Damn it.
Why are we in September and he made his debut?
Well, and I think, like you said,
he had injuries.
The COVID and issues. Yeah.
Dear
I mean, he was
Lord.
ramping up. And I know. But at least there's an excuse for that. There's no excuse for JT Riddle. Take what, like how you're saying. I mean, let's go back to what we talked about, weeks before. We're talking about different prospects and such, right? Like, Will Craig is 25 years old. Call him up. What's the point? I think,
what are we doing?
Maybe he's 24. I forget. But regardless, like,
he's 25, I think.
Is it 5? I couldn't remember if it's 25.
Yeah.
Or if he's turning 25 soon.
He is pretty much not a prospect anymore.
Well, that's it. Like, there's no point of him staying down. You want to talk about service,
he is
time manipulation.
He's the same age as Andrew Lambeau when he came up.
Okay. So, right. Like, there's no point of having him down. Like, he should be up. Like, Jared Oliva, he should be up. You know, they're old enough where you don't even have to play that game. And these guys aren't top end prospects. You know, it's not as if we need to keep these guys here and give them this extension so we can keep them until around age 33 for cheap and such. Like, no, you can let them go. They're going to be, 31, 32 anyways, the way they're hanging around, in the minor league. So, yeah, like, those guys should be up here. Get JT Riddle out, get those guys up here, and at least you're starting to see what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, and go back to the Cardinals. I think we've seen them do that 1,000, a million, billion times.
Yeah, but it just works out for them a million, billion times every time.
It really does. But I mean, at least they try it.
You know how Instead, you joked last week?
We get the minor league retreads that come up.
You know how you joked last week on Clemente Day how you just didn't know who was who? You don't know anyone's numbers anyways, but like now you don't even know who's who. And that's how I think everybody is with the Cardinals. I never know who anyone on the Cardinals is because like you just literally don't know. Never heard of this guy before. Top prospect list? Nope. But here he is hitting 320. Why not?
Right. Like Matt Adams, like Matt Carpenter. These guys like mid-teens draft picks. They just rake through the minors and they're like, nope, up, and majors. Figure out if you're good or not.
Right.
Instead, we got the Pirates. It's like, and I know let's just say a guy like Matt Haig. I know he didn't work out. But the amount of time they just were like, no, he's not going to be good. No, he's not going to be good. Well, he's a quad A player. Give the guy a chance. And I'm not talking about Matt Haig in particular, but I'm just saying, even a Jose Asuna, who I don't like, but guys like that, just shoot him up, give him a shot. The Pirates don't do that. It doesn't matter what regime we're in. They don't do it.
It seems that way. Yeah. I don't want to mark this regime with that stamp yet because
I know, yeah, you're right.
It just is a weird season. Like anything and everything chalk up. I disagree with what they're doing. As we're discussing here, these guys should be up, but I'm not going to stamp this organization saying it's the same as before. In doing so, I'll at least give them next year to find out. But they're not above this type of criticism.
Yes, you're probably right on that. But I'm just lashing out on the old regime where we got a bunch of minor league retreads and we got to watch. Gosh, I can't even remember who all came up, and it was like a Jason Nix and Brent Morrell and guys like that. Where it's like, what are we doing here? These guys are obviously not good. Just give the guys a shot that are probably not good, but we at least aren't sure they're not good.
Right. Yeah. And what I think is funny is, to coin the term, like, let the kids play. That's kind of the issue is these aren't even kids. Like, we're asking for men to come to the field and play. Like, let these men play. They're 25 years old. These aren't kids anymore. Let the men play.
I'm with you. I don't want to. You're right. I should not blame this regime on it yet. But give me about a year and I'll probably hate them too.
I mean, I'll give you a week.
No, I will give them another year and we'll see what happens. But
by the way, just to point out, still dangerous. 11 for 14, Tyler. 67 yards and 2 touchdowns. Woke up feeling dangerous today, Tyler.
Man, my bet was that Joe Burrow would have over 0.5 touchdowns. He did that the first quarter, so I don't care anymore.
I like it. Wasn't to Mixon, but I'll take it. It is all right.
I know. I got Joe Mixon too.
Do you?
Teams. Dude, I have Mixon and Connor. Not a good first week for me.
Oh.
Not good.
I hope you got Benny Snell too. The future starting running back.
Sure didn't.
I have actually. I got Kamara and Mixon. Because I traded and got 2 first-round picks.
Must be nice. I got Tyreek and Mixon.
All right. Actually, That's good.
I think I went Tyreek, Mixon, Connor. No, I went Tyreek, Mixon. I think I went Connor in the third because for some reason I just had hope. Well,
sorry about the luck.
Yeah. You had a bad day.
Anyways, so again, today, I mean, it was a nice game. Hopefully we don't have too many more of these because we need that number 1 pick. And Jim did put in the chat here. Jim did say, so we still have a 2.5 game cushion. So okay, we're still sitting all right, Tyler. We're still sitting okay.
Until they come out with, they're going to combine last year's record with this year's, and then Pirates and them with like the 3rd pick or something stupid.
And see, that was just speculation. I just want to put it out there, but like, none of this is above Manfred. I'm worried.
No.
I guess just to kind of bring this up because I think it was Mike in Illinois that brought it up on Twitter. And there was like a lot of discussion. I kind of chirped in again because I was busy and I wasn't watching the actual baseball game, but I was going here and there and just kind of catching up with it. It's like, I know there hasn't been talk, like Manfred hasn't come out and said like he's going to do something different, but in the same sense, it's not as if he came out and said, well, everything's going to remain the same. Yeah. And I'm not above, like listen, this is Rob Manfred we're talking about.
Yeah.
I worry.
We're talking about a league that decided how many playoff teams were going to be in during the season.
You're talking about a league that's deciding how many playoff teams are going to go in the next season and the next season after that. And as we discussed a little bit on Wednesday, and we'll get here as well shortly. Yes, I'm nervous. I don't know what it's going to be. Is it going to be a draft? They can combine season records. Are they going to just appoint picks? I don't know. I'm just nervous about it. Until I hear it's going to go based off of this year's record, I'm going to believe it's going to be different because it's Rob Manfred and he wants change. Doesn't have to make sense. Doesn't be good change. Change is change and change is good. I think that's his motto.
He's terrible. He's so bad. The guy is so bad at his job. I still don't think he's even like, I think he walks into his office every day and his secretary goes, hey, you want to take a look at this report about the Red Sox cheating? Nope. I'm good. We're going to push that off as long as we can.
Hold up.
Because he just ignored that forever until it went away.
You're right about that. Like, I mean, the Astros got lucky as hell. You want to talk about a team that's enjoying this season. I mean, how lucky are the
thankfully
Astros?
It was just a piece of metal.
Well, that part, yeah. But like, you're right. Nothing about the Red Sox. Which is funny, talk about the Astros and anything going on, like Joe Kelly. Like, again, let's go back to the Red Sox. Former player Joe Kelly. But yeah, nothing swept under the rug. However, though, we don't care about cheating. But let's get all the teams into the playoffs. 16-team playoffs. Going on into the future, likely. How do you like that, Tyler? Let me give you your platform right now.
So I know you guys spoke about this a little bit on your little Starbucks show that can be caught. What are the days it's on? Is it every day?
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday? I didn't think it was every day.
Sorry. Company name.
I know. Look, like, what do you want from me? 9:00, I'm working, unlike some people.
Jim, are we as pathetic as the Pirates?
I actually have a job that I need to go to and can't just watch Starbucks on my Wednesday. Anyhow.
Imagine.
I know Jim was not on board with this whatsoever because I listened to his like 15,000-minute rant. It was like 15 seconds, but I actually don't hate it. I don't. Now
you don't like. Hold on. You don't hate the 16 teams?
I don't.
Okay. Tell us.
I don't hate it, and I know Jim laid it all out. And if you want to hear all of his arguments, go ahead and listen to yesterday's episode. I don't hate it because I'm a Pittsburgh Pirates fan. And if it gives me a reason to watch baseball in August and September, I'm all the way in. I don't care if it's bad for the sport. If my team can win with get into the playoffs with 80 wins and I can watch some meaningful baseball in October, I'm okay with it. I'm super okay with it just because I need a reason to watch this team in a race. That's where I'm at. I don't care. I want my Pirates to be worth something. I can't watch them be bad and not want to watch them anymore after the trade deadline.
Is that it?
Yeah, I need something. Okay. I need a reason to watch them. Please give me a reason.
So I'm kind of going to do you like I did Jim, right? So let me play devil's advocate because I think, and let me follow up with this, but it appears to me as if you are definitely looking at this through a Pirates lens. You know, as a Pirates 100%. Fan, as a Pittsburgh Pirates, you like this, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, I'm Rob Manfred's secretary, okay?
He ignores you.
As you said. You are Rob Manfred. And I come to you and I say, hey, Rob, you know, I was just talking to my 7-year-old nephew, and he just mentioned how, you know, he hasn't been able to watch the Pirates into a playoffs since 2015 when he was 3. So he was wondering if you could maybe make, I don't know, 16 teams into playoffs? Huh? And you as Rob Manfred, who's in control of the entire MLB, right? He doesn't care about the Pirates. Honestly, we know that. He doesn't care about the small markets. We know that. Yep. He cares about TV revenue. He cares about revenue, and he cares about revenue, right? And among that, he cares about revenue. So he is in charge of all.
Did you forget to mention revenue?
Yes.
Okay.
So he's in charge of all of MLB. He has, regardless of how you think he's handling it, he has identified there are issues within MLB in the game and its future. So he has to make this product better, more marketable, you would assume. And he's going with this in an MLB lens, not just a Pirates lens, an MLB lens. Do you think, honestly, for the game, this is small picture, big picture? You know, like, I honestly, like, how do you view this with 16 teams getting in, much like the NBA and NHL?
I said earlier, it's probably not good for the game, but it's probably not good for a larger market team. Because when you're up, you're 20 games up. What do you care to watch anymore? But at that point, you know you're in the playoffs. For a smaller market team, like say the Pirates, say the Royals, say whoever you want to say, how I would like to see the numbers of eyeballs that are lost in August and September and see how that compares when they're competitive. Because we're talking about a Pirates team that I can't imagine that they have, like, just go back to 2012 when they collapsed. It was prior to September. There's no way they had nearly as many eyeballs as they did when they were in the playoff race. So, in that perspective, I would say that it could be okay for the game, actually, because we're talking about smaller markets being worth a crap at that point. Or not even smaller markets, just teams that aren't aren't great. Like even the Mets, they win 75, 80 games every year. How many of the Mets fans are going to keep tuning in? I'd say a lot more than they are now. So is it worth it in the grand scheme of things? Maybe, maybe not. My opinion is that I don't want to watch baseball in December. So let's maybe shorten the regular season if we're going to do this.
Okay.
But that's not going to happen. So I'll take what I can get and maybe watch some competitive baseball for a little while and maybe not just watch a 5-1 win against the Cardinals and not make a move on my couch and, they're winning 5-1. Like, yeah.
So I want to say that I do agree, and I brought this up with Jim. Like, I do agree, obviously, going to 16 teams, you're now going to have 16 markets. Well, obviously more than 16 because there'll still be some in the hunt, right? But you're going to open up to some more markets that are going to be paying attention and watching and maybe a little more excitement. Again, like the Pirates, right? So even though they're not good, they're still in a playoff hunt. As you mentioned, now you're watching truthfully meaningful games, even though they're hovering around 500 in September, right? So I do think this does open up some avenues in that sense for baseball. Instead of just New York, Boston, LA, always involved. Now maybe the Pirates, the Mets, but they're still New York. Kansas City has more opportunities and chances. Minnesota has more opportunities and chances. Even Tampa Bay, hell, Miami. So like you could open things up that way. And I think that's where potentially this was the mindset of this. Like this is a way you get more playoff teams, you get more people involved, more fans, grow the game. But what I think it hinders, and I want to challenge you on something. So what you said, when you're the Dodgers and you're up 20, are you going to watch games in August, September? I think it's fair to say, but at the same time, I disagree. And you know why? Do Steeler fans just suddenly not watch football because they're too good?
There's only 16 games, so.
Yeah, well, okay. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
But the better thing would do Lakers fans stop watching game because they're so big. No, they don't.
We're Bulls fans in the 90s, like just not watching Bulls games now because they got enough lead.
No.
And on top of that too is they're that good because they have those type of players and that much talent. You want to see Clayton Kershaw pitch, right? You want to see Mookie Betts out there and playing. So like how we're talking about, it's hard to watch the Pirates. It's very easy to watch. It's very easy to watch the Padres right now. It's very easy to watch the Dodgers right now. If they're up by 20 games, I'm probably still tuning in. And maybe, again, the casuals, I don't know. Maybe you're right. That's something we'll see. But I think what I do fear is what we're talking about is when you have 16 teams go in, is the need of having a Kershaw and a Mookie Betts, and all these people on your team, that much of a need. Or the Dodgers, like think about this year, or they say, you know what? We're good enough. We don't even need to make that trade for Mookie Betts this year. They go in it. You have more of that like Neal Huntington feel as a GM. Like right. We don't need to be great. We need to be good. We'll reassess at the deadline and we'll go from there. And there's now not a need to really go out and get too many key people. And I think it could water down the top teams a bit.
So here's the flip side of that. How many of those star players like a Mike Trout get into the playoffs if you expand the playoffs?
That's it.
You want it,
Mike Trout, because that's the only inept organization in the entire MLB that can't get into the playoffs with a Mike Trout.
Okay, well, let's look at the Phillies right now. We're Bryce Harper.
Okay.
But like guys like that, NBA's fueled with star power. You give me those guys in the playoffs, Mike Trout can't make it in. There's only 6 teams that make it in. Like what? Or 5? What are there, 5? Can't remember. Good Lord. But
yeah, by the way,
yeah, 5.
10 in total.
I don't know why I said 6. But your star power in there. You get the guys that can pop up and give the personality. You can get that star power if you have more teams in. So a guy, for some god-awful reason, the Pirates make it into a 16-team playoff.
Mm-hmm.
Just think of a guy like a Brian Hayes getting a little limelight. One of those personalities that can get in. And maybe it's not the best way to showcase your star players, but it's at least a way to get some darn eyeballs on them.
Okay, so here we go again. That's a good point. More teams, more stars. Now your stars are being showcased, right? But doesn't that just, again, give an excuse for Rob Manfred to not market those players and not give them the platform? Like, why do we have to sit through the end of March all the way through September to finally find and see out who our stars are in the MLB because of these playoffs? I get what you're saying. That would be a positive for this. But that also just goes to show how terrible Rob Manfred is and MLB in general at doing what they should be doing.
Well, I mean, Mike Trout's an anomaly. The guy does not even want to be marketed. The guy's in LA, and he just wants to exist.
That's totally fair. And I get that.
It is.
You can only do so much. Clearly he doesn't. So I'm not going to go full balls to the wall that they're terrible. They can't do this for Mike Trout.
Right. But if you do this, if for some reason the Angels make the playoffs, you give Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout in the playoffs, you don't think people are going to be watching a little bit? The casuals are going to be like, oh, where are these two guys? Because when there's only 16 teams compared to 30, the eyeballs are going to follow who's the real deal. Like, I mean, look at the NBA. Look at Jamal Murray. I didn't know who the hell Jamal Murray was. I thought he was some 30-year-old guard.
I still don't.
Because he's just a casual name. Dude puts up 40 for the Nuggets all the time. Now, all I hear about is Jamal Murray. You watch Mike Trout in the playoffs? Mike Trout hits 3 home runs. Shohei Ohtani hits a homer and throws 7 innings shutout. We're going to pay a little more attention. It's going to turn a little more into a players' league. And I hate Rob Manfred, but I don't hate the idea.
Okay. I still disagree. And it's okay. It's okay. Because like where I'm heading with this too is that the idea of that is great. And I can get on board that more exposure to the players is excellent. But so the Angels get into the playoffs and they end up playing 2 games because they get swept by the Yankees, whoever it is at that point in time. Were those 2 games beneficial? Were those 2 games the reason to do this entire season this way?
No, that's why I said let's shorten the season, because I don't want to watch 162 games. I don't have half of my year to watch baseball. Like, when you narrow this down, I am spending, if I watch all 162, I'm spending half of my year going home at 7:00 and watching the Pirates probably lose a game. At the very least, you can give me a reason to do so. And I don't want to watch baseball into December either. So we have to shorten it.
So there'll be a 2-part thing, okay? And I'll tie this all together. So just give me a minute here. So I think my problem, and I think what Jim and I definitely agreed on here as well, is the real issue with the expanded ones. He made this a really good point to compare it to NBA, right? When you have a number 1 versus a number 8 seed, how many times is that number 8 seed going to be that number 1? I mean, truly. How many times is that 8 seed going to be that number 1? So
not many, but
it is exposure. It's still a game, but 95% of the time that number 1 seed's going as they should, and you continue with the playoffs. Now, even that, is it a best of 5 series right now in the playoffs, or they do 7? I can't remember.
7.
Is it 7 to begin
7.
with? Okay. So then right there off the bat, right? The first series, though, is a number 1 and a number 8. And the disparity, is great between the two. And the odds are number 1's going to win. And they have 7 games to do it in. Well, we see what the wild card is. It's a 1-game play-in. We know what baseball is. And baseball is so different that there's so many circumstances on any given night. Truly, a team like the Pirates can go ahead and beat the Steven Brault can shut down the St. Louis Cards, right? And I think that's the fear and problem I have, and we'll get to the next part. But in a 162-game season, you play 6 months of baseball, and then it's decided in like 2 or 3 games, and you're out of the playoffs. So that's my problem. If I'm going to get on board with this 16-team playoff format, right? I think there has to be, and it doesn't mean I'm on board with it, but I think there has to be a complete adjustment to the way it's played. You can't have 162 games. It's got to cut down because the playoffs have to expand. And that's how you're going to have true, meaningful playoffs. And to your degree, if you're going to get those stars in there, they're going to be in there for a bit of time. You know, the playoffs have to be like a 2-month process almost. You're cutting the season down to maybe 130 games. And now you have this huge, think of it like a March Madness type of thing. I mean, you have this huge bracket of teams that are playing a lot of games with each other, and they're cutting down because you can't have these 8 seeds upsetting the 1 seeds time and time again, because then again, you're going down to it. Are the Dodgers truly going to invest all this time and money into this team right now? No, because we've been kicked in the butt how many times? So why is it worth it? We'll put together a good enough team, see where we stand, and go from there.
So are you saying that it's not comparable to the NBA because MLB is more volatile?
Yeah.
Okay, I agree. I do agree with that.
And not to cut you off, but to compound it, it's always been done this way, that the first rounds are shorter.
Right.
So an 8, the Pirates beating the Cubs 2 out of 3 can happen.
Yeah. But
did I say
MLB
the Cubs?
Viewership. Yeah.
Well, I guess they would be probably 1 seed, but still, regardless, they're beating the Dodgers.
I guess it's you gotta shorten the regular season. That's really what it comes down to if you're gonna do this, because you're not playing playoff baseball in Pittsburgh in November or December. I don't see how they would make that possible anywhere in the North, to be honest. But my dog's whining right behind me. Lost my train of thought because of him. Anyhow, it's completely different than basketball because of the volatility of it all, of the whole thing. However, you mentioned Dodgers. Why are they not going to go for it? At that point, I think you might see more of a transition into, all right, well, we need the best pitching staff that we can find. So I think everybody will adjust, and it also it's going to get more eyeballs on everything. Even though like we said earlier, the Dodgers, who might be 20 games up, maybe they lose some viewership late in the season because nobody cares anymore. They're going to be playing a Pirates, so they line up all the time, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it gives a lot of people a reason to continue to watch the sport. And it gives the stars that might not be on one of the marquee teams a chance to showcase who the hell they even are, because the Pirate or the MLB sure doesn't do it.
Right. We know that.
I mean, it's not really a good situation regardless of what you want to do. But you look around all the major 4 sports, the MLB is the only one that does it like this.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason they're falling into the least popular category. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's not the right situation for it, but something's got to give here.
Okay. It's fair. That's fair. I still think you are correct. I mean, it is falling off. I still think this is just, going back to Manfred, a change. That's just a change.
Yeah. It might be a Band-Aid.
But I think that we're both on board. If it goes this route, it's got to be a shortened season. And I think, and to expand upon that, that's how I feel like if they do go the 16 teams, not only just a shortened, season, but the playoffs have to be very meaningful. You can't just have the first round, especially being, the wild card thing, like, a play-in game. You can't have a one game, but you can't have like even a 3 or 5. Like everything has to be at least 7-game series. Has to be. And then at least then you are truly getting all that exposure. And there's now to go forth, there's now actual true meaningful baseball for a longer time because you have like a 2-month almost playoff in baseball and not just like 1 month. So for 2 months, you're actually seeing playoff baseball because the season's now cut down to, like you said, like the 130, 120 mark, whatever it is, and you're still like games 90 through 120 are very meaningful because it's still what teams are getting in. And then you're getting a true 2 months of true meaningful playoff baseball. That's the only way I can see this working. And I'm still not saying I'm on board. I'd have to see whatever that proposal is and look at it or whatever. But that's, to me, the only way I could sign off and agree to this.
Really? They just got to find a way to beat the weather. That's what it comes down. They got to find a way to beat this weather because there's no team that's going to play mid-November baseball in the playoffs. And
not even that,
weather
though.
means beating the weather also means, hey, maybe we shorten the season. I don't know.
But the thing is, like it's not even so much the weather because take the weather out. If every team played in a dome, you still don't want to be playing baseball in November because in 2 months you got to report for spring training again, and these pitchers are going to be killing themselves.
Yeah.
So like it's not even a weather aspect; it's just the nature of the game in itself too. You can't be doing that.
And to be honest, I'm not watching baseball from April to November. That's so long.
Think about if you're an actual player too. Oh my God. All these kids are like, no, I'm not being a baseball player.
February, you guys get December and January off. Have fun.
Wow. All the divorces. I'm going to law school right now. I'm just going to be the MLB divorce lawyer.
November is the earliest they're done if they expand.
Yeah.
Because they're already like the last week of October?
So you're doubling. You're basically doubling it because even though we say 10 teams, right? It's a one game play-in basically for 2 of them, and they're done. So now you're down to 8. So to truly do this, you're talking at least another month. So you're basically done December 1st, and then you report January 14th.
I'm not spending my Thanksgiving watching baseball. I'm not.
You're gonna have baseball, football, and then NBA, right?
That's
and hockey.
Such a bad idea. If that's gonna happen, we got to figure something better out. We got to find a way to do it. But if we're gonna do it, I'm not watching this thing into November.
2020 gave us no sports. 2021 would be like, all right, guys, this is too much sports. I can't take it.
Yeah, I'm at that point right now.
Yeah, this is too much. I'm gonna go watch Netflix.
For real? I kind of miss not having sports. It was pretty great. Like I just go to bed at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, well, try having a podcast on it.
Yeah, those are good days. Great days. Just wait. We're what? What are we? What? 1 week away from the end of the season? What happened?
Oh, it was Chubb. I thought maybe someone got dangerous. It's now 28-13. Chubb had a touchdown.
What are we? What is it? One more from Sunday. It's 1 week. Building the Pirates here.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God. I'm ready to move on to the offseason. I want the fun stuff to happen. Like signing, stuff like that. I want that.
Well, for the people that know, I love the offseason.
Way better. Way better.
It just is what it is for me too. Like that's like when I play Madden, career mode. I wanted to build a team. I don't really care about playing the games. I did, but I love the career. I love the GM aspect of it. So yeah, the off season's where it's at for me too. Not to say I don't like the season, because of course I love it. I just love the offseason a little bit more.
I like the debate part of it. Right now, what are we debating? Are the Pirates bad? Yes.
Right. Is Manfred terrible? Yes. Yep. Well, I think that pretty much sums up our show then.
Yeah.
Talking about prolonging this, we've gone an hour now. I think the people have had enough.
I'm sure they have.
Seems like the Bengals have had enough. So, anything you wanted to say to wrap this up?
Nah, I'm cool.
All right. Well, there it is, ladies. He's cool. Check him out. Look at that hot stud right there.
Still feeling dangerous.
All right. So we'll be back. We'll catch y'all later. Bye-bye.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.